So we'll start kind of coming into the wood shop day. So we got lots of new stuff done, lots of things in the works, got things to fix, got some lacquer paint, fixing things I can show you guys, got some new furniture, got some updates on some new products that we are starting to develop, got some big bids that went in this week, got all kinds of fun stuff to show you guys. So we'll head on here to the wood shop. See what we got today. So in here, I've got a bunch of, these are all parts for Greek key, for Greek key china cabinets. So we got lots of parts being built. The frames are right here. These are all the upper assembly frames. And basically we'll run a rabbet all the way along the inside of here, and then we'll put decorative fretwork in here so that we can then, we'll put glass in there and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be awesome. Over here we got three. These are all CNC cut parts for 3 of our Zane credenzas. So all these are going to be Zane credenza parts. And so it's kind of what's going on there. Come over here. Got some paper to show you guys. Let's see here. So this is a gold paper. This paper actually needs to go on these doors. So what happened is apparently we forgot to put the paper on the back here. So some clients like to have the inside of their painted furniture. They like to have the inside lined with some kind of a paper. Sometimes we use like a decorative paper, or in this case, we got this pretty gold paper. So anyway, got to put that on that china cabinet or that credenza before we can ship it out. But it's, of course, got our beautiful, I forget what this backplate's called. We got 1.5 inch knob, and I want to say daisy, but it's not daisy. I think this is Lotus. This is our Lotus backplate. So it's pretty cool. Excellent way to make money is to add hardware to the furniture that you sell. So just for reference, this particular piece is probably, I don't know, $15 for the pull, and then this is probably another $30 maybe. So every one of these doors, they probably spent $45 to $50 on additional hardware, which is pretty cool. So it really adds a lot of good margin to your furniture. So that's kind of a cool thing. Other things. Let's see here. Okay, so we got a lot of fix-it stuff here in the shop. So I had to fire my cabinet maker, right? He kind of ended up sucking. What would he do? He'd like start working, and then he'd get kind of excited, and he would basically just start dancing and like singing and doing this kind of weird stuff while he was working, and then he'd start messing things up. So it's kind of crappy, but it is what it is. It's like, this is the thing. Like, employees come and go, unfortunately, and you just got to kind of work through them. Oh, there's Mike this morning. Good morning, Mike. How are you, bud? Hope everything's going well. And we're just showing what's in the shop again. So I got lots of messed up stuff to show people. So I've got all these drawer boxes. I got 9 of these things. I think 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 9 drawer boxes. All right. So the same guy was a great drawer box builder. Actually did a real good job. The problem was that he put MDF panels in the bottom of all these drawer boxes, which is completely stupid. This is what I was talking about with this guy. He would like flake off. And so I had to go in and put in a whole bunch of cherry wood panels, right? And the fit isn't the best. So now I'm actually have to go in like they did back at the turn of the century, and we're going to put very tiny pieces of cherry wood in here in order to fix this, because this is an $8,000 dresser, right? So the craftsperson in me thinks that I should build brand new drawer boxes, but the business owner says, no, you can't really afford to do that right now. So I'm not going to do it. I don't have the time is my biggest problem. Good to hear things go well, Mike. Mike, of course, is a painter here in St. Louis. So if you need a furniture painter, need help with restoration work or kitchen cabinets painted, all kinds of stuff, Mike's always looking to help people out. Like I said, fantastic painter. So hook up with him on YouTube if you can. More things we got going on here this morning. We got, I built a couple of these yesterday. So these are just faux bamboo vanities, right? And so we got these. It's basically like an X pattern piece of faux bamboo that's going to go on the blank here on the vanity, and then of course we have faux bamboo trims that are going to go on here. And I sell the shit out of these things. Like, these are what I call halo cabinets, and I've talked about halo cabinets in the past. Halo cabinets are these things that you build over the years, right? And you're in business for years at a time, and every once in a while you build a piece of furniture that catches on and that people just start buying it and it sells itself, right? You no longer have to work on selling it. You no longer have to talk about how amazing it is and show it at every opportunity you can. People just see it and they gravitate towards it for whatever reason. I can never like really put my finger on why things sell and why things don't sell, but it just ended up being kind of a halo piece of furniture. So that's kind of that. So I saw a bunch of those. We got, I think this is 30, this one's 36. And again, super simple. There's nothing special about it. I cut them out all on the table saw. You can see, of course, you know, I got my rabbet joint right here, which technically shouldn't be there. So I'll end up filling that in and we'll butt it up to our little triangle here. And again, sell a ton of them. People just really like them. So anywho, other things we got going on, we got a lot of brass work going on right now. So if you guys follow my wife, Suchetta, at the Resplendent Crow, I redid a bar for her. I built her a nice bar cabinet in her office. And anyway, all of the glass shelves are going to have this brass trim along the front of them, right? So the shelves are 1/4 inch. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to shave our brass down along here. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put on our buffer. We're going to buff the shit out of it and get it looking super shiny. So I think I did a post yesterday about doing some of this. But anyway, this stuff will gleam like a mirror when I'm done with it. And it's a lot of work, but you know, nice things take time. So we got that going on. That's a big deal. Also, I finally got to use my hinge boring machine. This thing's freaking awesome. If you guys want one of these, like these aren't expensive. I want to say this might have been under $200. With the bit, you had to buy the bits separate, so it might be more like $240. But this is awesome. It makes doing hinges so much easier. And if you don't have a CNC, it's pretty badass. So I recommend yourself a hinge boring machine if you don't have one. Because I've been doing this my entire life. I've never had a hinge boring machine. This is like I built furniture just for myself for 20 years probably. 15 years. Never had one. I've always done it the old-fashioned hard way. So anywho, other things. All right, so the wood shop. Let's look at the wood shop. Okay, here's what a professional wood shop looks like. It's covered in freaking dust and there's shit all over the floor and it's dirty because I don't have time to do any of the cleanup, and that's okay. Not a big deal. Also, over here is a paint shop. So believe it or not, you can do both things in the same shop, and your product is still pretty awesome. So just something for you guys to think about. Okay, so I think you guys have seen this in my videos for well over a year at this point. So this piece is this walnut credenza that I had a desire to build one day. I started on it, and then I got busy with other projects. Like work just became too busy. And anyway, I found a buyer for it, believe it or not. And I got a big client, someone who wants 15 pieces approximately. And this is one of the pieces that probably is going to go in their house. So I finally might be able to get this thing done and get it the hell out of here. And yeah, it's going to be cool. I mean, it's got knife hinges on it, right, which you don't see very often. Sometimes people call them scissor hinges or pivot hinges. But it was a cool looking piece. I really wanted to make it in kind of an old school fashion. You know, it has these cool little, you know, half circle motifs, which again, were just freaking awesome. You know, and this is walnut. You have a lot of discolored, I actually have quite a bit of discolored wood, even though I tried to cut it out of most of the same batch of material. This kind of stuff will end up toning this, right? So we'll spray the entire cabinet when it comes time, and then anything that's darker, we'll go over it, we'll tone it just a little bit more to get the color to be more consistent. And that's just kind of one of the tricks that you do when you're finishing wood. So that's kind of what's going on there in the wood shop. Okay, paint department. So more people coming in. We got Pearson Cap 2, R. Not sure what R means, but good morning. Everyone hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button, add to the comments, you know, helps kick around the algorithm, and we'll just keep running through the shop and show you guys exactly what we got going on here. Okay, so into the paint shop. Let's see what we got going on in here. Flip this damn thing around. Okay, paint shop. We got lots of drawers getting ready to get clear coated. These drawers are, I forget what cabinet that's for, but again, all cherry drawers. That's how we make everything. There's no BS drawers. This is the Greek key dresser that I have to fix all the freaking drawers to, which really pisses me off. But anyway, it's getting ready for paint. So it just got primed. I want to say it got primed yesterday or the day before, but it's plenty dry now. And again, it's stunning. It's a beautiful piece of furniture. I'm always really proud of this. I talk these cabinets up because I want to sell a ton of them. And anyway, there's lots of cool things. So I'm actually looking at potentially doing the next one of these that I make. We'll paint it, you know, a base color, whatever that color might be. But then we're going to do all this in gold. So I'll have nice gold Greek key trim with the contrasting color. It'll look pretty sick when it's done. So yeah, so we're playing around with some of those things. In our paint room, I already came in here, had to dig something out first thing this morning. So in here, we've got a chartreuse faux bamboo piece that's drying right now. Looks like it's probably got its first base coat. And it's a pretty cool looking piece. You know, people seem to like this chartreuse color all of a sudden. So these have really nice brass caps that go on the top and they look really cool. So once it's all painted, we'll nail these nice brass caps on. You got one on here, you got one on this leg, and of course you'll have them on the other side. And then nice brass hardware on it. This is Stanley. Stanley makes really good stuff. And this is our piece. We make these here in-house. This is an 80-inch version of the original Henry Link, which came in, I want to say 62-inch length and 70-inch length. Ours is 80, but ours is 35 tall. The original was 32. So, pull this out. This is coat number 1 as well. Whoop, dig this thing out here. Kind of look at what we got going on here. So we pull this piece out, and boy, it's actually warm. That room is toasty. We keep our drying room at about 80 degrees. Just keep that thing cooking. So anyway, this is one that we build. These are all made right here, and it's pretty nice. So the new stuff obviously is going to have undermount slides, right, which is really nice. So your drawers just open and close really easily, and customers want that. And that's one of the ways that you can charge a lot of money is to give them features that they can't get with the vintage stuff, right? Give them something that's really nice. And also these are all going to be Blooms, right? Bloom is a really respected company in the hardware game. Also, behind here is a big piece of steel, right? So that's one of the reasons that we can make a dresser that doesn't sag. Our dressers don't sag. The span is supported by a piece of 1.5 by 1.5 steel tubing. And it's, of course, supported on the end panel over here and the end panel over there. And the deflection on the span of that steel is so much, it doesn't deflect at all. It just, because of the strength of steel as opposed to wood. So we don't have to do any of that. So you have a nice two-legged dresser that doesn't need support in the middle. So customers kind of like that kind of stuff. They like hearing the stories of how you design things, believe it or not. So yeah, just doing tons of wood isn't always necessary. So anyway, nice looking piece, but this is coat number 1. So if we look at the finish on here, come in here, let's see if we can get some light kind of right in here. You can see there's still a little bit of, it's almost like fuzzy look. I don't know what you call it. It's nice and smooth, but it just needs to be sanded. It needs to be 400 sanded, and then we'll hit it again with another coat of lacquer. So anyway, nice looking piece. Then in here, what do we got more of these? What is this? I know what this is. This is some kind of a chartreuse, or not chartreuse, some kind of a white dove piece maybe, color white dove. That's a nice looking piece. And anyway, we'll, yeah, so we got going. So not a ton of stuff in the drying room, which is good. Means less time I got to work. Okay, so fix-its. So I got to fix some stuff here. So this is the other side of the paint room. Of course, got lots of drawers over there that are done. So this is a faux bamboo desk. Excuse me. I make this desk in basically 3 different parts. So you got your top and you got your 2 pedestals. So what we have going on here is this piece has to leave on Monday. So what I got to do is I have to fix this thing because it doesn't have time to be painted. Okay, so what I've got to do is, let's see if I can get in here real close. It'll be hard to see because it's white. But if you look right along here, it's kind of hard to see. It almost looks like chicken pox. And what's happened is the composite that we make our faux bamboo with did not agree with our paint in certain places. So we don't have time, like I said, to paint all this. So you can also see that on the top, again, I have to get in the light. I'll tell you guys how I fix all this stuff. If you look at the light, oh hell, where is it? Sorry, y'all, I should bear. Okay, right here, here we go. So let's see if I can get this in the light. Okay, see it? See it right there in the light? It's almost like a little squiggly thing. It looks like the clef on a music note. Anyway, it's that has to be wet sanded and polished out. So that's what I'll be doing probably on Sunday. And then here, God, I wish I could get you guys there. Yeah, you can kind of see it. See all that little chicken pox in there? Right? So what happened here is there, like I said, there was some kind of a reaction with our composite, but more importantly, look right here, okay? See the run? You can see that big run along there. So we got to sand all that out, and again, here's another one right here. Nice paint run. We'll sand all this stuff out, and we'll polish this and buff it, because there's a lot of paint buildup on this stuff. And what I use for this is I have a little Milwaukee a little Milwaukee buffing wheel. You can buy them online. They're not that expensive, but they're perfect for doing little sanding jobs like this. So that's what you're going to want to use after you sand it. So anyway, so that's what I got to fix on this thing. And of course, I'll have to wet sand and polish the entire top. And I'll do a video on it. I haven't been doing videos, like long form YouTube videos lately, but I'll probably do a long form video on this, even though it's white. But anyway, so that's why I got to do that. The pedestals turned out okay. There's not much. I think there was just a little bit. Let's see if I can get in closer. Again, you might be able to see it just a tiny bit, kind of like right there. So same thing, we got to fix all that. And that is just part of painting, y'all. Like, I've probably done, I don't know, 50,000 pieces of faux bamboo trim over my career, and I've probably had 10 pieces of faux bamboo trim that have had real problems. It just doesn't happen very often. It's very rare that we have these problems. So, and that's one of the things about problems within your company or within your finishing process. A lot of people will freak out immediately. They'll think, well, God, I got to fix this. I got to do something about it. Truth is that you don't. You just got to fix it and see if it happens again. Because if it doesn't happen multiple times, there's no sense in freaking out about it, especially when you're running, you know, I don't know, however many pieces we run a day. Not every problem warrants a solution. You know, sometimes you just got to fix it and then look for it to happen again. And unfortunately, the faux bamboo thing, while it is a huge time suck and it takes a lot of resources to fix that stuff, it doesn't happen very often. It's so rare, in fact, that again, I don't even stress about it too much. So yeah, so that's what I got going over there. There's not, like I said, it's not gonna take too much to fix it, but it'll be a Sunday afternoon probably. So, all right, finish room over here. Finish room, Al just left with a bunch of furniture here locally, and then I got a bunch of stuff in back that's going to Florida, which I can run you back there. So we got this piece, and it's getting ready to go out. I don't know what the deal is with it, but if you look at the top, see our light, here you go, give you some light. So what we have here is, you can see a little bit, see that's, it's almost like salt and pepper, and maybe just salt. It's like someone took a handful of salt and went like that, right? And you end up with these little kind of salty things. Now, this kind of stuff can literally be polished out for the most part. We'll buff it and then we'll polish it, and most of that will come out, right? And because this is a vintage piece of furniture, we can get away with that. If this was a new piece of furniture, that wouldn't be acceptable. So we'll, that's what I'll probably do to that thing, and that thing will be ready to go. Then here, I think this cabinet is just waiting on hardware. I've shown this in a couple of videos at this point. You know, it's a beautiful serpentine piece. It looks great, but it does need hardware, okay? So other things, see all the dust. I've talked about this in the past. When you spray lacquer, especially high gloss lacquer, it dries so fast that it's not an issue. Any of that dust, you know, I was showing you guys I have a wood shop right next to my paint shop. It's not a problem because, again, that dust, the paint dries so fast. When the dust settles on there, it doesn't get in the paint at all. The paint's already dry. So we got that going on. All right, what's Mr. Mike saying? Let's see, hold on. Let's flip back our camera here. Let's see, is your hardware on the website, or is it going to one of the, in case people ask about hardware? Yeah, so pretty much all of our hardware is on our website. There's actual drop down that's just for hardware, and you can look all that stuff up. Also, I have, you know, tons of it here at the shop, so you can always come by and look at it. Usually I keep about 100 pieces of all of it in stock, because when you order hardware from India, you can't just order 10 pieces or 20 pieces. You have to order them in blocks of 100 minimum. And that's just how it goes, right? So every little knob that I have, right? If that knob costs me, you know, $2, you know, I got to order $2,000 worth of it. The stuff that costs me $20, you know, then, you know, the numbers just add up in a hurry. So yeah, but we keep as much as we can on hand, because it's freaking expensive. It's really expensive, even when you import hardware. And side note, like I've done a little bit of talking about tariffs and how this whole thing affects American manufacturers and importers and stuff like that. The whole tariff thing, right? So if India has a 2% tariff right now, which is what I pay every time I import something, now it's going to go up to 26%, I think is what I saw. And basically what that means is that when I import something that costs me $2, you know, instead of paying 2 cents or whatever, I guess it'd be 4 cents on that, you know, now it's going to cost me like 50 cents, right? When people see that 26% number, it's really shocking to people, okay? But the actuality of the importer doesn't matter. Like, I don't give a shit, because I probably charge $50, $60 for that piece of hardware that I'm paying $2 for, okay? And this is the thing that people need to understand about these tariffs. These tariffs are not as big of a deal as people might think they are. Now, when you sell a lower margin product, like, you know, you import it for $5 and you're able to sell it for 10, right? That's a significant amount of money for sure. But that tariff is going to affect you a lot more. Whereas the hardware that I sell, the markup is so high on it because that's what the market commands, right? Like if I were to sell that piece of hardware here for $4 and say make 50 cents on every piece of hardware I sell, it's not gonna necessarily help me as much in my operations, but the market has dictated that that piece of hardware should sell for $40 or $50. So this is something people need to learn if they want to get in the furniture space, the hardware space. The market tends to dictate the price that you charge for something, not necessarily what you want to charge, right? So last thing, when that 26% tariff comes in, if I sell a thing for 50, 60 bucks and that tariff increases my cost, like I said, 50%, believe me, the market will move more like several dollars, right? And this is unfortunately how markets move in America. The price won't just go up that 50 cents. It's going to go up, like I said, it'll go up several dollars. And that's just how it works. And I don't necessarily know why it is that way, but you have to operate, you have to sell your products within kind of the floor and ceiling of what the market is selling their products for. So unless you sell a super desirable product, and then you can go the sky's the limit if you want. But anyway, tariffs are kind of complicated, and they're a little bit more of a fear-mongering tactic, I think, than most people want to believe. So anywho, back to what we're talking about here. A few more pieces. All right, so we got some new stuff in here. Kind of show this off real quick. And then, yeah, I don't have a ton to actually show this one. I've got a lot of stuff to work, or a lot of stuff to do. So this lavender desk, we got this finished. It's really cute. Got some nice I think that's malachite hardware on it. And, you know, people, especially women, just love these lavender colors, you know, so this thing will probably sell right away. It's a very nice looking piece. And again, it's vintage. And I don't know, I guess it kind of looks like Century, but that's not I don't think this is a Century piece. Anyway, so nice looking piece. That's cool. Over here, we got, what else do we have coming? We got these Stanley pieces. So these are little Stanley nightstands. So this is one of the things for any of you furniture flippers. Okay, anybody that wants to flip furniture. I don't know why that thing's sticking up. All right, so these in and of themselves don't sell very well, right? They're nice, and people like the nice chunky hardware, and it's cool and all. But what actually sells these things is the base, right? So what we do is we just build a base, and we attach it onto these things. It kicks it up, and it gives it a little bit more of a luxurious element to have a nice gap there, and it gets it to be a height that's a little bit more palatable to people, right? So this thing by itself would have been like 20, I want to say it's like 22, 23 inches. When you add the base to it, it kicks it up to more of a desirable height, which is 30 inches. But these are actually, I think these are 28. They're still a little bit low, but you want to be in that 30-inch height. That's kind of what people want that are buying. They're going to pay this kind of money for nightstands. You know, these are probably, I don't know, probably $2,800 for the pair. They're not super expensive, but anyway, adding bases is a great way to make your product a little more desirable. So we added that, and what else we got going on here? Got this chest that's getting ready to go out. It needs to leave. So again, this is more of our hardware. We make this all in India. We import it, and it's really nice looking stuff. And this is the color ruby, if I'm not mistaken. Nice looking piece. Pretty decent finish on it. And again, it's vintage. So yeah, it's nice. And I think, man, guys, I think that might be everything that I have to show you. Kind of a little bit of a slower week, which I guess is kind of nice. Lots of things to build. So I got lots of jobs coming in, lots of work. I bid 15 pieces to one customer this week, which is pretty cool. So that could be a big job. So I got a lot of things in the pipeline, got big bids to submit. And yeah, this one bid I got to do is going to take me, it's going to take me a week to put everything together, right? So actually I get to design new furniture, add pieces to my collection, and probably start an entirely new furniture line, which is kind of a big deal, right? So someone else is going to pay me to start this furniture line as opposed to me fronting all the resources for it. So that's kind of cool. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, we'll more on that probably next week. So last thing that I guess I forgot to talk about. So here are paint guns, okay? I did a little bit of talk yesterday on the kind of paint guns that we do. And truth is that this is what I use. I use an Edge 2. It's just a Graco sprayer for my turbine unit, right? And Mike on here uses a turbine also. I think he bought one of my old Fujis off me. And Fujis are fantastic. They have a lot of parts. This doesn't have very many parts, which is one of the reasons I like it. And Mike, this is a good tip for you. When you get super busy and you can't run around a lot, Sherwin just comes and picks these up and fixes them and brings them back to me, which is really nice. And my guess is that they would do that for anybody that bought a Graco turbine off them. So anyway, they repair those things over on Page. They've got a whole shop dedicated just to repairing this kind of stuff. So anyway, they're cool guns. They work really well. And again, I've had the SATAs and all the nice guns, and we don't even use them. That's all we use. So super easy to work on. And again, the system turns on and off with the press of the trigger, which is really cool. So you don't need to turn the system on anymore. You just pull the trigger, and then the turbine turns on. Everything turns on, and it's pretty sick. So anyway, I think that's what I'm going to have today. Don't see a ton of comments, but I appreciate everyone participating today. And again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe and all that stuff, and I'll keep putting content out. I put out a talk about tariffs the other day, which is pretty cool. If you want to know anything about that as it pertains to being a furniture maker or own a paint company, so we're talking a little about imports and paints and woods and hinges and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of cool talk. Got more content coming out. I'm doing long form videos. So I've been doing the lives and stuff like that for a long time, but I've got some really cool furniture coming up. So I'm going to start building some of this stuff, and I'll do some long form video about that kind of stuff. And yeah, so it's kind of what's going on today. And I did talk today, or I posted a video today about how YouTube woodworkers don't sell anything that's made of wood, which I find really interesting. Look at any of the freaking big woodworkers, like none of them sell wood except for I think the Blacktail Studio guy actually sells something that's wood, and good for him, but all the other ones, like you go on their link trees and it's all like coffee mugs and t-shirts and, notebooks and business plans, but no furniture, right? Which I find really interesting. So anyway, I hope everyone has a great weekend. And Sunday, I'll talk about some piece of furniture. I don't know what the hell I'll talk about, but I'll find something. And anyway, I hope everyone has a great day. And yeah,